So, checking out your Saturday here for this weekend forecast, we are seeing three areas of marginal threat, and that's your marginal down there. We are seeing this longer band that travels from Wisconsin and Illinois clear down into portions of Texas. Then we see a southwest Texas bubble right there. It's going to be affected by some Mexico environments, allowing for some of those storms to pop up. And we are going to see some high plains development. Would not be surprised if by the time we get to tomorrow, which will be Saturday, because we're recording this on Friday, if we see a slight threat in one of these. Highly doubt it'll be that southwest Texas one, but either this bigger band or this high plains area is probably going to be upgraded to a slight threat. And that's because looking at our Sunday is where we could see this bigger zone, this avocado looking zone that you can kind of tell where it's going to be influenced by. It's all going to be cells forming out on the Mexico-American border. So all of this is going to be fueled up through Texas and Oklahoma, and that's going to be centered around basically Kansas is where we can expect the center of this to be. Would not be surprised, since this is a 3-day out on Sunday, if this ends up being an enhanced threat somewhere in Kansas. And that is because it's looking like some bigger thunderstorms are kind of on tap to form. So we could see this potentially upgraded, not saying right now it will be, but there is a potential for some bigger storms somewhere in Nebraska, either Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, or Oklahoma, potentially even Arkansas. So we'll check out these models for you, get the temperatures and everything together so you have an idea of what's going to be going on. So looking on Saturday here, we are going to see temperatures across the entire nation that are very warm, not really anywhere that I would call cold. So down in our target areas, somewhere in here, where we could see a bubble in here, you can kind of see some individual cells that might pop up because it's a little bit colder in some of these areas. So we do see a light cold front that could potentially happen due to some rain up here. Now it's obviously backed by more warm temperatures, so it's not a true cold front, but it looks like one for our purposes. So we could see some light supercell development along here, and that's why we do have that marginal threat that travels from Texas up through Wisconsin. So looking around the rest of the country, not really too many places that we would call too hot. Now, of course, if you live in California where it's 102, or if you live in parts of New Mexico and Arizona where it gets up to 102 also, you're going to be a lot colder than some other places, or a lot hotter than some other places. And then there'll be a lot colder in some places, like we could say the Rocky Mountains, where it only gets up into the 50s. But of course, that is an elevation environment, so that is going to be, of course, colder than somewhere that is at sea level. So then looking at Sunday for you to check out what the temperatures are on Sunday, you can expect some pockets of cooler temperatures by some complexes of thunderstorms. But looking at some of these temperatures across Texas, like 102, 103 in this one place, we could see upwards of 102, 101, and that's right up through here. We even see upwards of 100 in Oklahoma, and including up in Kansas, we could see 97. 97 is about where it tops out at. So very hot temperatures in the central and southern plains for your Sunday, especially across the south. We are staying about the same at about 90, and then we'll see in and out rain and some warmer temperatures up in places such as the Ohio Valley in the northeast. So very nice, very summer-like weekend here. Not any cold temperatures, not any extremely hot temperatures. Now 102 is pretty hot, but we are not seeing 115, which is a very good thing. So we are seeing very nice temperatures for this time of year. We're not seeing those extremes again, so it's very good that we are staying on the same path. So we're going to go ahead and check out what's going on for you, starting out on Saturday morning. Then we'll go to Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, and the same thing for Sunday. So looking Saturday morning, just some general rain showers, as you can see, mostly centered in the Midwest, some individual patches in parts of Oklahoma and Texas. Then looking in the Saturday afternoon, we do see more influence, and we do see potential line that could form. And note this is one model, so we have different models that are going to be right or wrong, but you can kind of see different rain portions that could affect portions of the Northwest. We do see this big complex that is now formed in the Midwest. Then as we go into the nighttime hours, we do see some more of those powerful storms. We do see that some individual supercells that will form down in this area in Texas. We do see a lot of supercells forming right in here in Texas during this time of year. And then we do see that Midwest threat potential for a squall line in there. And then some bigger thunderstorms will occur up to the north side of that. That is why we are giving that marginal clear up to the Great Lakes. So then checking out your Sunday morning, we will see that this whole low pressure, whatever's spinning up here, is all the way out in Canada now. We will see some overnight thunderstorms across parts of Oklahoma, especially in the morning. We do see a Boeing segment potentially in the morning hours, so a quick jump start to the day with some of these cells. Moving to the afternoon hours, we will see the majority of more pop-up storms occurring across Nebraska and Kansas. Somewhere in there, including Iowa, is where we're going to see those morning into lunchtime storms continue to build towards. We do see some more showers and thunderstorms associated with this whole complex into Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, and then traveling towards the northeast. But it's really when we get to the dinner and overnight hours is where we are expecting Kansas to be what we're watching. Now, Iowa will continue to see hail and damaging winds, potentially even very high flooding, especially considering they've been getting rain this entire weekend. In some low-lying areas, we could get a lot of water. It looks like we're going to get the same rainfall over and over again in some of these areas, so we have a high percentage chance of flooding in a lot of these areas. Now, looking back to Kansas, between the middle of the afternoon and then dinner time, we'll see these individual supercells form. But really what we're looking for, some models are showing and favoring supercells, but a lot of them are favoring two different systems that are going to clash together. And we're going to end up with this huge line, potentially a squall line in there, but it looks like hail will be our biggest threat. If we go ahead and click on this and check out what's going on, it will be a supercell, looks like, and there is a 67% chance from the SARS of a tornado occurring. It looks like that we are keeping that very tight line between the dew point and the actual temperature, which means that we are going to end up with this potential for tornadoes. We could see... We're definitely going to see some hail, and then damaging winds will probably be our biggest threat. But if this does get increased to an enhanced threat, we will do a briefing on this. But looking overall at this, I'd say Sunday is the worst day because, as we can see on our day 2, it's just right now just a marginal threat for Saturday, but Sunday already being that slight in his avocado shape, I can almost guarantee you they're going to at least look at something centered in Kansas for an enhanced threat. They're not going to, I'm not guaranteeing they're going to go ahead and make it an enhanced threat, but they're definitely going to look and see, and they'll even put out potentially a severe thunderstorm watch, considering already 3 days out, we are going to see some potent storms in Kansas. So definitely be on the lookout this weekend, and we thank you for watching this forecast. It's our weekend forecast. We do it differently than some of our daytime normal ones. So we thank you again for watching and being with us the whole week if you watched all episodes. We hope to see you back on Monday for your Monday forecast. We always remind you to stay weather ready, and we hope you have a great weekend.